Welcome everyone. My name is Fleisch. I'm a junior here at F&M from the Environmental Action Alliance Club. And we're really excited to be hosting this event here, especially during Earth Week, and here in New College House, a LEED Silver Certified Green building. Thank you, Junior, there, that camera. I'd like to welcome all the representatives and collaborators we have here today coming from near and far. We have representatives from the Food Recovery Challenge, of course the Food Recovery Challenge, and we have representatives from the Environmental Protection Agency, Sodexo, Lancaster County Conservancy, Environmental Recovery Corporation, TerraGrow, Pennsylvania Environmental Resource Consortium, and Franklin and Marshall College. So thank you all for being here. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the Regional Administrator for the U.S. EPA Mid-Atlantic region, Mr. Shawn Garvin. Shawn's responsibilities include administering federal programs governing air and water pollution, industrial discharges, the protection of streams, lakes, and bays, and the protection of public health in communities in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and the District of Columbia. Please welcome Shawn Garvin.
Well, thank you, Julia. I want to thank Dean Hazlett from Franklin and Marshall for hosting today's event. I also want to thank Josh Hooper from the Pennsylvania Environmental Resource Consortium, as EPA recognizes both organizations for their participation in EPA's Food Recovery Challenge. I'd also like to thank Carty McMullen, our Regional Vice President of Sodexo, for joining us today. I want to recognize their leadership in this unique partnership that diverts food from Pennsylvania landfills. I also want to recognize Bob Greaves and Luke Wolfgang from EPA Region 3, who really are the brains and the brawn behind this initiative at EPA. I would especially like to thank Julia Fleisch, who is our F&M student MC, and other student members of the Environmental Action Alliance for their hard work protecting the environment and elevating important environmental issues on and off F&M campus. Today we're honoring PERC with EPA's prestigious Food Recovery Challenge Endorser of the Year Award. Specifically, PERC recruited 22 colleges and universities statewide to participate in the Food Recovery Challenge that resulted in 100,000 students reducing, donating, and recycling excess food. So why is EPA focused on wasted food? Food waste has become the #1 waste stream sent to our landfills. More than 30 million tons each year in the United States. This food quickly decomposes and emits methane, a powerful greenhouse gas linked to climate change. We can all agree that fewer air emissions is a goal worthy striving for, and one that has positive health implications. In addition to the environmental benefits, EPA has also recognized the human health factors related to food waste. Nearly 1 in 6 Americans is food insecure, lacking either access or resources to provide enough nutritious food to feed themselves and their families. Nearly 40% of the food produced in the United States is wasted, most of which is viable, nutritious food that could feed millions. But not every morsel of excess food is suitable for donation. Food that cannot be donated, such as leftovers and scraps that are not suitable for human consumption, can indeed feed the earth through composting, enriching our soil, like F&M is doing at this very athletic ball field that you can see here, and I think over there a little bit. Composting reduces the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides, as well as reducing water usage in agriculture and landscaping. As a Food Recovery Challenge endorser, PERC has jumped to the forefront of food recovery efforts here in Pennsylvania. The role of an endorser is to promote food recovery, and PERC has done just that. They are bringing the tools of EPA's Food Recovery Challenge to 22 Pennsylvania colleges and universities, just like Franklin and Marshall. Since early 2013, EPA has been working closely with PERC and Sodexo to develop the Pennsylvania Higher Education Food Recovery Challenge program. By providing PERC schools with technical assistance, they are diverting surplus food away from landfills and onto the tables of those in need, or into the composters to feed the earth. The unique collaboration helps us reach a larger audience with an important message of food recovery. EPA recognizes that by enrolling colleges and universities for the Food Recovery Challenge, our young leaders are seeing firsthand how to be better stewards of the environment. Just take a look at what Franklin and Marshall College is doing right here in Lancaster. In November of 2013, F&M started composting food waste generated in the preparation of meals for the dining halls. A short time later, they began collecting post-consumer materials as well. In 2014, F&M diverted 73.4 tons of food waste from the landfill by composting it at a local composting facility. By returning and composted materials to their sports fields, F&M knows the importance of closing the loop on the sustainable food management life cycle. Franklin and Marshall has extended food waste collection to many events and venues around campus and continues to expand its efforts. Most notably, F&M composts food waste and 130 pizza boxes from a weekly campus speaker event here at their gym. By working closely with Sodexo, F&M implements Lean Path software to better purchase, store, and handle food, preventing food waste from occurring in the first place. F&M has taken leadership role in the Lancaster community by advising and educating other local food processors, retirement homes, restaurants, and other schools who are beginning their own sustainable food management programs. Whether through donation to hunger relief organizations or by composting, EPA's Food Recovery Challenge provides that we all win when we feed people and the planet instead of the landfills. And none of this would have occurred without the leadership of PERC. With that being said, I'd like to present the Food Recovery Challenge Endorsers of the Year Awards in 2014 to Josh Hooper, Executive Director of PERC. Now, before I present this to you, this was actually made from 100% recycled material. Now, being on a college campus, it's being green and glass. Folks may decide where this glass came from, but I think it was windows and not beer bottles. So let me read this: Sustainable Materials Management Food Recovery Challenge 2014 Endorser winner, Pennsylvania Environmental Resource Consortium.
Congratulations.
On behalf of PERC's member schools, I'd like to thank Shawn Garvin and all of our friends at EPA for this award. We are indeed honored by this meaningful recognition of the diligent work, food recovery work that PERC's member schools have been doing on campuses throughout the Commonwealth. I'd especially like to thank our sponsor, Sodexo, for making our Food Recovery Challenge possible, and Franklin and Marshall College for hosting this event and for participating in the challenge. In case you don't know us, PERC, the Pennsylvania Environmental Resource Consortium, is an organization that connects over 80 of Pennsylvania's college and university campuses, enabling them to share their collective knowledge about sustainability with each other and take action toward a more sustainable world. This particular project, the PA Higher Ed Food Recovery Challenge, is a PERC initiative that demonstrates the kind of success that can happen when public, private, and nonprofit entities collaborate on a sustainability initiative. The challenge grew out of a conversation that started actually right here at F&M on a conference that PERC had on this campus in 2012. Sodexo Senior Manager of Sustainability, Christy Cook, was in attendance at that conference, and afterwards she said to me that Sodexo wanted to get involved with PERC. Involved, she said, in a way that would make a real impact on sustainability. So I went back, we did some conversation internally with Sodexo, further conversation with Sodexo and EPA, and out of that group, this initiative that we're talking about today, the PA Higher Ed Food Recovery Challenge. The concept was to leverage the strengths of each of the three entities. With its statewide network of campuses working on sustainability, PERC would provide a built-in constituency for the program, as well as the organizational and communications infrastructure to make it happen. The EPA would bring its significant technical expertise on food recovery, and Sodexo would bring its commitment to sustainability, its knowledge of food service, and frankly, the funding to make this all happen. The three organizations are like the legs on a three-legged stool. Without any one of us, the whole thing will just collapse. But together, we went from 0 participating campuses at the beginning of 2013 to over 20 campuses with over 100,000 students, as Shawn said, by the end of 2014. Together, we're making strides toward reducing food waste. Let me just give you a glimpse at how the challenge works for us. Through ongoing online meetings and forums, challenge participants connect with each other. They share their successes and ask for help when they hit a roadblock. They meet in virtual meetings, they post their progress online, and they share their best practices in person during PERC's conferences. One of my personal favorite aspects of the challenge is the way it touches students. When you see students working alongside their professor in a composting operation, or students running a staff of volunteers to ensure that food donations get to the hungry on a daily basis, you understand the kind of long-lasting impacts this program can have. Because it goes beyond the metrics. Every one of those students who has had this kind of hands-on interaction with the work of sustainability will take those lessons forward in life, whatever career path they choose. So my thanks again to the EPA, to Sodexo, and all of the challenge participants across the state for this award. To me, it represents so much. The countless hours of hard work that people on Pennsylvania's campuses have put into reducing food waste, the hungry people that were fed, the costs that were saved, and the greenhouse gases that were reduced, having an impact on climate change. And it means that many of tomorrow's leaders will have had their hearts and minds opened to the challenges and the rewards of thinking sustainably. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Youthway. Yeah, it's really incredible how PERC's influence has really made such an impact on reducing food waste and on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And I can talk also to the student end of things, like you said. It's really, it's clear that when students see in the dining hall, they're learning what composting is, and it's really setting a precedent for the future. So it is incredible in that way. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the Dean of the college, Dean Hazlett, to make some remarks.
On behalf of Franklin and Marshall, I'd like to welcome you today. It's a pleasure to everybody to have you here. We're thrilled to host this exciting award event, and it seems appropriate during Earth Week to be hosting it in a LEED silver building. In addition, the new College House has taken a leadership role in waste reduction and food waste recovery among our college houses. The college has a serious commitment to sustainability, as evidenced by our Sustainability Master Plan and our signing of the President's Climate Commitment. We are very proud of our sustainability efforts, especially our composting. In 2014, we diverted over 72 tons, that's an incredible amount of materials, to the composting facility. We are continually working on expanding our food waste recovery efforts to new events and venues on campus. I think it's now the majority. It's rare do you find an event on campus where we don't have compost. And from the Common Hour speakers, 2 weeks ago, we had 800 students on Hartman Green for an all-day concert, smoothies, we have compost there. At professional development lunches, there's composting. So it's now just become a given that takes place on this campus community. Education of our college community has been a big part of this success. Food waste reduction, along with recycling, intelligent purchasing, and other means, is an important part of our waste reduction and climate commitments as outlined in our master plan. We'd like to recognize and thank our partners in this endeavor. Live Green, which is now part of the Lancaster County Conservancy, who got us started in composting 5 years ago. Sodexo, our food service provider and wonderful partner. The Environmental Recovery Corporation, our hauler and advisor, and TerraGrow, who does the actual composting at the Oregon Dairy near Lancaster. Franklin Marshall is, of course, a college, and we are very proud of the efforts our students, especially those from the Environmental Action Alliance, the Dirt Army, I love that group, and the Olson Center for the Sustainable Environment. Our commitment extends to the classroom and many courses in our academic departments that promote scholarship and research and sustainability. Finally, it is a true honor that an F&M alumnus on behalf of PERC is here receiving the award. Josh, you serve as a role model to our students and a wonderful example of the level of community engagement by our alumni. Thank you for your service and commitment to moving our community forward.
Thank you, Dean Hazlett. Having a 501c agency and a private college and a major corporation collaborating with this really is incredible. And none of this would have been possible without the help of Sodexo and Carty McMullen sponsorship and partnership in this initiative. So now we will be hearing from Carty McMullen, Sodexo Regional Vice President. Carty McMullen.
I just wanted to thank our host today, Franklin Marshall College, but importantly the students, faculty, and staff who are very active in sustainability and making this a better world to live in our own corner. And there's a theme that we've heard recurrently today, which is really important. It's about partnership, and it's about a not-for-profit, a for-profit, a government agency, a college, students, faculty, and staff working together to make a difference. It wasn't Carty McMullen, it was Drew and the team here. It was the students that were driving this process, and that's really what's important, that working together, we can make a difference and we can make these things happen. Yesterday, for Earth Day, Sodexo announced that it is to become an endorser of the EPA's Food Recovery Challenge, which is a very important first step in doing more than talking about the right thing and doing it in one corner of the world or one state in the country, but really putting our brand, resource, and support behind that in partnership with the resource and support we get from Josh and PERC, the EPA, and our client partners like Franklin Marshall College. So we appreciate the opportunity to serve here, but really to work with the students in making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Carty. And so that concludes our ceremony. I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I'd like to also extend a special thank you to Tom Simpson for coordinating today. And feel free to grab refreshments here, and happy Earth Week.